Hi, I'm Kat Miller. Tonight's show of Passionate Living is going to be a little bit different. In light of the tragedy that's happened right here in our hometown a few days ago, tonight's show is going to be focused on providing support for our community that needs it. We're going to hear some words from Mayor Byron Brown. We're going to hear about what to do, how to navigate the grief, the anger, the emotions from Mellissa Archer, who's a psychiatric nurse practitioner. We're going to hear from other important voices in the community, like Van Taller. And finally, we're going to hear from my dear friend, Richard Roundtree, who many of you know as the original Shaft. Richard called me on the night of the tragedy in tears. And I encouraged him to please share with us today on the show. And he has. So, from everybody here at Passionate Living and WPPC TV, we send love and prayers to everyone, the families of the victims, to the community, to our community, to the world. And tonight we just want you to sit back, take a deep breath, and we hope that this show helps you in your grieving process. Just for the community, and looking to the pain, and the importance of people grieving.
Yes.
How do people talk to their children? What can teachers and schools do right now to make a difference, to try? I mean, I can't imagine. What was he raised with to have that much hate inside of him?
People have to talk to their children. They are difficult conversations, but people need to let their children know that hate is wrong, that we need to love each other as human beings, we need to respect each other as human beings, and any form of hatred is harmful, it's hurtful, it's painful, and it's wrong. I listened to South District Council Member Christopher Scanlon today talking about having that conversation with his 7-year-old and his 5-year-old. And even at those young ages, children are very smart, they're very intelligent, they pay attention to everything, they absorb everything. So it's important for us to talk to our children, even at ages as early as that, about the importance of respecting other people, respecting themselves, and that we should never harbor any feelings of hatred in our hearts.
And children don't hate, they just play with each other on the playground.
That's right.
They don't hate, they learn to hate.
Children do not hate unless they are taught to hate. And to have a young person with so much hate in his heart, so much hate in his head, that he would plan with such detail and with such determination and drive for more than 3 hours away from where he lived to try to kill other people, other human beings. You have to wonder where all that hate came from, who taught him that hate, how he was indoctrinated in that hate, and how it took hold of him, turning him into pure evil.
Yes, because hate turns people into monsters.
Yes, it does.
And in schools, it's so important right now more than ever for teachers, because if they're getting a generational message of hate at home, they need to get balance in school. They need to hear truth. They need to hear heart and love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love is the answer.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Kat.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, the shooting was about less than 10 minutes from us, and it was targeting the Black community, a community that I'm a part of, in a neighborhood that I'm a part of, in a neighborhood that my family is a part of. I don't really know how to describe that. And the fact that someone would come here, again, to this neighborhood, this city, this community, to do something like that. You know, no one here did anything, so the fact that someone targeted us is a lot to comprehend.
Well, Mellissa, we got together the other day
Yes,
to film our mental fitness moments for season 4.
yes, we did.
And here we are a couple days later,
Right.
where people really need mental
Yes.
health fitness. You know, an entire community needs it because there is a fracture so big right now. It's
Right.
unbelievable. What can people do in the midst of a devastation like this? Because other than cry, and I know grieving is a big piece of it, right?
Yes,
We should not
yes.
stop ourselves from grieving.
No, we shouldn't, because grieving, there's no roadmap, there's no time frame, and it is what it is. One moment you could be smiling and happy, next minute you could be crying. Just give yourself the agency and grace to just grieve, and let your children grieve as well. This is frightening times, right? This is not something that Buffalo goes through. And in the days and weeks and months ahead, it's going to get even more challenging. So, and children respond, children and teens kind of, are influenced by how the parents, the teachers, caregivers, how they respond to it. So some of the things that we can, that we may see in teens and children are changes in behavior. You can see, like, they're sleeping too much, not sleeping enough, anxiety, fear, concern about their safety, about their family safety, concern that it may happen again. Some physical symptoms you may see are, stomach ache, headaches, and there's so many other symptoms. These are just some of the symptoms, the common ones. And the thing of it is, this is all normal. People have to realize this is all normal behavior. And how can we help mitigate that? How can we help our children? Number one, we got to look and take care of ourselves. So it's almost like when you're in an airplane and they tell you, put your mask on first, put it on yourself first before you put it on them. You have to do the same. So as an adult, we have to make sure that we are checking in, acknowledging how this event has affected us mentally, physically, emotionally, and dealing with that. Taking that grace and taking that time to step back and grieve, just like we spoke about earlier, grieve. And like I said, there's no timeline, there's no roadmap, just grieving, letting it out, getting that support system around you. Not making any heavy decisions right now, and then giving yourself that grace for some self-care. If you need to talk to a mental health professional, seek that out. There's so many resources right now, and so many more coming. Just reach out to someone. Do not suffer alone. We are all suffering, and it's a collective trauma that we have all experienced. So collectively, we are all suffering. So when we take care of ourselves as parents, what we can do then is we can be as effective for our children. And some of the things we can do with our own children is, spending that time with them. Spending that time, having a conversation, see what they already know. And then talking to them.
Stay at home with them.
Stay at home
with them.
Oh, yeah.
Don't go out. Just be at home now.
Yeah, just love them up. Mental health days are a thing in my house. And spending that time with them, taking time to actually spend that time to talk. Find out what they know. If there's some misunderstandings, because usually after events like this, there's some information that might not be as factual. Gently clearing up those misunderstandings so they're working from a fact base. Spending that time doing things that they like. Slowing it down, right? Keeping that stability of that routine. Because when we have routine, that equates to stability. That also equates to control. And right now, people don't feel like there's a lot of control, and especially children. So making them feel like they have some control, that can help. And making them feel safe. All right? Making them feel safe, making them have that control. And finally, the number one thing is really manage that social media and media exposure and what we are saying around them. Because, that says it all. Children only get their information from, small children, they only get their information from us, people we allow around them, or social media or something like that. So just being very mindful of that. With the teens, talking to them. about
Yeah.
monitoring their social media, because we're not always with our teens, right? And then doing that and also monitoring ourselves, because we're modeling that behavior
Right.
for them on how to take care of themselves, have self-compassion when, you know, there is tragedy or there is crises, and then they will do it themselves.
Right.
So these are just a few tips. There's so many more you can go. I didn't even introduce myself, but you know, I work with New York Project Hope. And people can go to the NewYorkProjectHope.org website or the Buffalo Urban League. It's the Buffalo Urban League website, and there is a New York Project Hope there to get some real tangible tips on how to cope, how to manage with this.
Oh,
And because we
Mellissa,
need it.
Thanks. We do.
Yeah.
And we were together when we
A day
heard
before
the
it
news.
happened.
Yeah,
Yes.
the day it happened, and
Yes.
both of us were just like, this was a kid so filled with
Right.
hate. That's why schools, communities have to be talking. So
Right.
if a child is taking in hate, it needs
Right.
to be balanced.
Right. Right.
Because
Because you.
hate turns people into ugly monsters.
It does. It does.
Love heals.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, love heals everything, right? And that's where if you're spending that time with your child, you're knowing what they're being fed,
Yeah.
you're knowing what they're doing, you're knowing what their friends are doing, who their friends are. You have, you know, it definitely will be a different scenario.
Yeah.
You know, and if your child is experiencing some issues where they need help,
Yeah.
mental health services are available in every fashion, and even more so right now. Reach out. There's no shame, there's no stigma, there's nothing like that. Just reach out. Because, you know, this could be a possibility, you know, if the child is going down that path, and we don't want that. We don't want that. You know, so we want everybody to heal. It's going to be a long road, but we are, you know, in it. You know, mental health professionals are here, organizations like the community is coming together, not just around the people, the families and victims that, you know, were directly affected, but the community as a whole. And it's, you know, collectively this can be, you know, the you know, an opening to really make some real change around mental health, around, you know, families, around communities, just around just, you know, not having hate as a meal choice, right?
Oh, thank you for the work you're doing.
I'm trying. We're trying. We're out here. Thank you.
So I'm like, oh, how do we keep from crying?
I know.
I'm here with my dear friend, Richard Roundtree, who many of you know through his lengthy, amazing career from Shaft to Bad Friday to the show that he's on now, Family Reunion. And the other night, after the tragedy in Buffalo, he called me and shared his heart with me about what was going on, and it touched me so much that I encouraged him to come today onto this very sacred episode and just share a little of his heart and wisdom with us today. Thanks for joining, Richard.
Kat, that was a very, very raw conversation we had. And I don't get that raw, that naked publicly. Yeah. And when you suggested this to me, that I do this on camera,
I know you do not like interviews.
That was a steep hill to climb. There is so much emotion that are turning over in my being about where we are today. We have gone back to the 40s, if not the 30s. we are being fed stuff that we're supposed to swallow. And too many of us have our heads in the sand. It's unconscionable.
It is. And my grandpa used to have a saying. And yesterday when I was over at the Tops Market where the shooting took place, he used to say that if you see something happen on the street in life and you just walk by, like say someone's getting mugged or somebody's having a fight and you don't want to get involved, and you just walk by and you do nothing, that you become part of the problem. I think that is the big thing for everybody that's sitting watching their television sets. Oh, another tragedy. And we watch so intently, we may feel emotional. And then that passes. And it's like it's in the back of our minds. It's not there anymore in the present.
Well, Kat, the only reason I'm doing this.
No, but I mean, people don't do anything, right? They just sit there.
The main reason I'm doing this is what you shared with me a few minutes ago, your uncomfort being questioned, being a white woman in this situation. And I said, oh my God, how can I not speak out? If you can do that, I have no excuse. I have had a privileged life. I have traveled all over the world. And been in some strange situations. But I have never experienced the feelings I have today about this place I call my home, this country. To look at the denial of facts right in front of our face. No, you didn't see, you didn't see that. That wasn't true. I didn't say that, and it's on tape. The denial of this racist mentality that was going on in this country. Oh, no, that's not what I said. That's not what I'm doing. Let me verbalize it in a different way to make it palatable.
Let me try and spin it in a different way so that it sounds better than it really is. Yeah.
I think I told you about my oldest daughter, who is a teacher in Southern Illinois, and the story she tells me about the administration, critical race theory, you can't even bring that up. Right. It is not isolated situations. It is all over.
You're right.
In my day-to-day working relationships, and then I can leave the set and go into a market. The script is flipped momentarily. My God. this is the real world. And when I closed the door, yeah, this is real, but it flips.
Yeah.
So suddenly, moment to moment out there.
You hear this, and now I know my niece Rosina, who's like a daughter to me. She has this to look forward to in her life. She has to go out there in the world, and I worry for her safety. It's just, it's everywhere. So we can't figure out getting through the most primitive, shallow thought processes that our bodies or beliefs have anything to do with who we are as a person, then what hope is there for humans? And those of us that know better, that are conscious, that are awake, we have to all say something and stand up and cannot sit by idly in any way, shape, or form anymore.
This man is saying somewhat what you experienced. It is so deep, and it speaks to a lot of things that I would love to adopt in my life in these dark moments. And it's difficult. On the insignificant actions of someone else, don't allow others to control the direction of your life. Don't allow your emotions to overpower your intelligence.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you for talking today and sharing. I know how hard this was for you. I know you do not like.
I need to take a nap. I'm drained.
Me too.
Okay, Kat. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later. I'm here with my dear old friend,
Indeed.
Van Taylor,
Indeed.
42 years.
Indeed.
And Van, you knew everybody
Everybody.
that was shot yesterday?
If you notice, the age group of most of these people have been following both my bands, UST Topaz during the Rick James days, as well as Taylor Made Jazz, which a lot of people know today. All our events, our balls, our galas, you name it, these were the same people there.
Well, it's a very tight community.
Yes.
Everybody in
Yeah.
Buffalo. It's a big city, but it's a small town. Everybody knows
Exactly, and I
everybody.
shop here from time to time on top
Yeah.
of that. So I got to meet the younger folks, coming in. It's also a place we put our posters up. So I knew the security guards. They said, yeah, put your poster right here.
Yeah.
You meet the kids and stuff, you always encourage them. So yeah, I knew everybody.
Now, it's devastating. Everybody's just heartbroken.
Well, most
And-
people don't look for things like this to happen in your own backyard. Okay, it's one thing that happens somewhere else. I've never been a person for somewhere else. If it happens somewhere else, it's going to happen to you. It's just not if, it's just when.
Yeah.
So you have to work together, come together, and make a difference for everyone concerned.
Well, thanks for everything you do
We try.
to bring love and peace wherever you go. You travel the world with the USO, and your message of your band
Oh yeah,
is all about love,
yes it
community,
is.
togetherness.
So we spread that all over the world, wherever we go. We've been doing that for years.
And you've got a song we're going to play today.
Yeah, come
all
together.
about thank you, honey.
You're welcome.